Okay, good morning, everybody. You're gonna have to mute. We're gonna do the others. All right, well, I appreciate so many of you guys sticking around throughout the rain. We have what I hope to be an incredible, I know it's an incredible panel. I hope that we will have some incredible information to share with everybody this morning. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jason Russell. I'm the branch manager with Neo Home Loans. I'm also the chair of our finance committee. Eric Riley with Guild Mortgage is my partner in crime on the finance committee. And this morning, we're going to talk a little bit about leveraging your lender and how to partner with your lender, whoever that favorite local lender is, to really take your business to the next level. We've got 4 big questions that I think can really help elevate each of your businesses. And we're going to kind of go across the board and talk about those things. Before we do that, though, I kind of want to set the stage here. And I want to talk about a little bit of a state of the industry, real estate as a whole. So I was recently shopping for shoes. I'm wearing them for effect. And in doing so, I came across this. Now, you can buy these shoes they're all the exact same shoe, but the price is different. So I'm going to ask you, by a show of hands, who would buy the shoes from StockX, $59? Okay, all right. I'm not saying you're wrong. Who would go to Nike and pay the highest amount? Okay, so, but this is, to be fair, I think the Nike. If I could pick them up, I could run over there and pick them up, right? So I say this in all to say that there's no right answer, right? And I think the state of our industry for both real estate professionals and mortgage professionals, we are up against a couple of different business models that are looking to change our business, whether it be real estate, finance, escrow, anything in between. And I think my view on it is there's 2 paths forward for us if you want to be successful in this business. The first of which is you can be the cheapest. You can be StockX. And StockX is a fine model. There are people, we just saw by raising of hands, who will be more than happy to go to StockX and get their shoes. I think also the other path forward is you can be the most valuable. And the most valuable is a subjective thing, right? But there are people who will be willing to pay $90 and go to Nike for what they view as either value or convenience, whatever the reason may be. It's one of those 2 things. Everything in the middle, in my view, is a melting ice cube. And so our goal today is to try and show you some ways that you can partner with your favorite lender, whether they're on this panel or not, and get some ideas on how I can't help you be the cheapest. And I assume if you're an agent in this room, you're not the cheapest because you're not texting me offering to buy my house. Okay? So I know you're not the cheapest, but I think you can be the most valuable. And we have some incredible professionals up here today that are going to help you with some ideas on how to be more valuable to your clients so that you can't get replaced by technology or mass text messages or anything else in between. So with that being said, again, I'm going to turn it over to Eric Riley, Guild Mortgage. He is our MC for the day, and he'll be guiding our conversation.
So first, we're going to start off on my right, your guys' left, and we're just going to introduce the panel real quick. Tina Bailey from Guild Mortgage. Why don't you tell us just a little bit about you while you're here?
Good morning, Christine Bailey with Guild Mortgage. I'm here because Jason Ballin told me to be here today. And I'm excited to just share information and hopefully you guys can pick something that you can use in your business.
Yeah, how long have you been in the industry?
Since '99.
I'm Stephanie Hanna, also here because Jason asked me to be, but I've been doing this for 19 years and I'm hopefully have something to share that you guys can take away and do something a little different, a little better.
Yeah.
Thanks.
My name is Carla. Hey. My name is Carla Moreno Burris, Moreno Mortgage, and Jason did not ask me to be here today. No, I'm just kidding. By myself. No, but let's see, I've been in the business since 2005. And I'm here today just to share with the amazing lenders just how you guys can win. I'm all about looking at things from the highest perspective, so I'm excited about it.
I already introduced myself, so we're gonna save time and move over to the stars of the show.
Hey now. We are Lending. I'm Alex. This is Loli.
I'm rolling.
We have been a team now for 10 years. And we are just here to share some nuggets of how we help our agents, and hopefully you guys can take some helpful tools back with you in your tool bag. And we are also here to Jason. We're very honored to be here. Very honored to be here.
Our Amazon card, so if you guys want to put your business card in, pass it on.
All right, so now you understand why we asked these people to be here. They've been in the industry for quite a while. They have a lot of valuable experience to bring to the table. And hopefully you guys are all gonna take some value from this. So I'm gonna start with Christina. What is?
Okay.
That's okay. We'll move on. You guys can all hear me in here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure they can hear me to that. All right, Christina, what is something a lender can do to help a realtor increase conversion of leads?
I would say that. Obviously connecting quickly with your lender, is super important. The faster you get those leads connected with your lender and, attended to, the better. But most importantly, knowing what that lender's process looks like is super important. So, is your lender gonna call, text, and email? Are they gonna wait a little bit and call later? Are they gonna email later? What does that process look like is super important. How they're gonna treat that lead, the conversations they're gonna have with that lead. Are they gonna go into depth about what kind of market we're in? Just really understanding that process is super important, because if you're just calling a lead and you're trying to get an app as quick as you can, that's not really connecting with that person, and the connection is what's super important. So if if you know that lender's process and you can make the buyer feel super comfortable about what to expect in that process, I think that's gonna be your best chance of converting that lead. Like, my lender's gonna call you within the hour. She's gonna explain how we can be super aggressive as a team together. Just explaining what that process looks like and knowing that whatever you tell that client is also what that lender's gonna do. So then that way the client calls the lender and it's exactly as they were told and as they expect, is just to make sure that you guys are in that good relationship with your lenders and you know exactly how they're gonna handle your lead. Not to mention, if they don't convert right away, what database are they using? Are they dripping to them by email? Are they continuing to call and follow up? Leads don't always convert right away. But if you're continuing to follow up and check back in, even if it's a year later, now's a great time to buy. So following back up with those leads and helping them get converted, and then hook back up with that same lender or realtor that referred them.
Thank you, Christina. Stephanie, I'm gonna ask you the same question. What is something a lender can do to help a realtor increase conversion of leads?
So it's all about that hustle, right? So you guys are not meeting people constantly, trying to get in touch with folks that are willing to give you their contact information, so a complete stranger can call and discuss their most intimate detail. So we want to follow up with exactly the same type of level of hustle that you do and reach out at a time that's convenient for that person. Some of the agents will say, hey, they're available after 5 on Tuesday, whatever that might be. So we need to be relatively available, and our agent knows that they can say these things and that we're going to follow up. And like Christina said, sometimes folks just don't answer the phone, they don't respond to the emails or the text. So there has to be a plan in place to convert. So you are gonna constantly reach out to these people unless they tell you to stop, in which case we do. So that's what I would say, just being available, reaching out early and often, trying to engage with goals. So I wanna set up a goals call. Some clients, you have to read the room, some people just wanna go online and fill out an application, but some people absolutely do not wanna do that unless they've talked to you and you've had a chance to explain what to expect and how everything's gonna go. So we also wanna be mindful that everyone doesn't work the same way. So we wanna have a goals call, figure out how you're working, and then try to match your pace.
Thank you, Stephanie. Carla, we're gonna ask you the same question. What is something a lender can do to help a realtor increase conversions of leads?
These ladies have kind of said a lot, and so all of that they said. I would just say that there's a rhythm in working with clients. And so each of you guys have like this way that you like to do things. I find that certain lenders like to do a text, or certain people like to do a group email, and some people like to do a Zoom meeting because of the COVID. And then you guys have different personalities. So whatever lender you work with, that you guys have like a mesh relationship with, and you guys have this, you build an expectation with that lender. As a lender, the best thing that we can do is to really draw your client in to the family, right? So we're a team, so we work as a team. So we are an extension of each other's team, and you send your lender a client, you want your client to feel like, wow, this person is invested in my life, they're invested in my goals, and they want to see me achieve these goals together. And so alongside what they said about following up, because not everybody's ready, and even when you have clients who aren't ready, your lender should care enough about that client to still invest time with that client and to find out what the client needs to be ready. So I would say the relationship between you and your lender, and the lender is meeting your expectations as you as an agent and what you expect on how to deal with your clients.
Thank you, Carla. We're gonna skip Jason and go there. Welcome to ask any questions you guys might have. Same with the chat. If anybody has questions, we'll do our best to answer them as quickly as possible. We do have a few slides here and there as well for the people on Zoom who don't fall asleep. Lily and Alex, the drinking. What is something a lender can do to help a realtor increase conversions of leads?
Okay, so again, everything that these ladies said, but I think to Carla's point, when we get that pre-approval, the cool thing is there's two of us, right? So as far as the personality match goes, we always want to make sure that our clients feel like their hands are being held, and so maybe this one is better suited for Loli, maybe this one is better for me. But either way, we really make sure that we talk up whoever the agent is that sent them to us. We want them to know that they really, hit gold, and this is the agent that's going to get you the keys to your house. And so we, do follow up with email. If they're not able to talk right then, we do, send a text, figure out, like Stephanie was saying, when's the best time for us to connect. And then just adding them to your lender's CRM and making sure that's co-branded with you so that they stay top of mind, because let's say it is a long-term lead, and it's something where they can't buy for maybe 6 months from now. We're kind of giving them that homework so they have a goal. We haven't lost them, and they're getting these monthly drips from us, even if it's just Happy Valentine's Day. They're seeing our picture, seeing your picture, staying top of mind, and then when they're ready, we just assume that they're using the same agent. So we're like, oh my gosh, we can't wait for you to go shopping with so-and-so. Almost like they don't have a choice, right? So it really is important to connect with a lender that's going to make sure that they keep you also top of mind with those clients.
Thank you, Jason. Jason, same question. What is something a lender can do to help a realtor increase conversion of leads?
Yeah, I think they've all said a lot. One of the things that stuck with me that Christina said that I think is really important is that you meet with your lender, and if you need help on how to sell your lender to your client, we can give you a script. We can tell you, we can give you a biography of ourselves. We can help you with that. And I think from there, there's two prongs that you have to think about when it comes to conversion. The first of which is getting somebody on the phone, right? A lot of times you guys will have Zillow leads or leads through your brokerages or something where they're very cold leads. And you can go ahead, I think I have a slide here. One of the things that I think is important is you work out with your lender partner what your routines are. So this is an example of something I do with my agent partners. I call it the Lead 365 routine. For 1 full year, I follow up with that lead on a very prescribed schedule. I want it to be like a manufacturing plant. And that's really important, I think, for agents because you know what to expect, right? You can know on any given day that we're on day 15 or whatever, since you gave me that lead, you know what I'm about to do. You don't have to call me and text me, though you can. And I think having that plan and working on that plan, whatever it may be, whatever you are comfortable with for your business, sit down with your lender partner, figure out what that looks like and just keep working it. Because a lot of times, especially on Zillow or something, they get blown up by lenders and agents and they will not pick up their phone. And eventually those calls stop. But if you have a plan, your calls don't stop. And maybe 6 months from now, they pick up the phone. And now they're like, yeah, actually, I am looking to do that again. And there's a lot of history behind that. So setting up that plan, that routine with your lender, I think is important. The other thing I think when it comes to conversion, and I think this is especially true right now, when I think I can speak for every agent and lender too in this room, that every lead matters right now. They are so hard to come by that you have to take really good care. You move to the next slide. I think we as lenders, again, when we talk about there you go. You've got your, your typical online lender who's going to operate in this method, right? They're going to, I close the loan on time, I offer conventional, FHA, just the basic stuff, I offer good rates. I'll thank them later and ask for a referral. Then I think we have where the industry has to go, which is the next click, which is what your lender partner needs to be for the future. And I think there are so many talented people in this room that are on that path. Someone, Nolan talked about it when he did his presentation earlier this morning, just going deep on financials with them, going deep on dreams and goals. We have to be more valuable. And I think that sitting down with your lender and really figuring out what that looks like for your business, I think is going to be huge. Oh, we're going to go on eBay? Okay. Yeah, so I think, and again, I just think that if you understand, if you can express to us just how important every lead is to you, we will treat it that way. And that's going to help increase that conversion.
Thank you, Jim. We're gonna go on to the next question, and this one is gonna go for Stephanie. What is something a lender can do to help a realtor cultivate long-term relationships with clients?
So the relationship doesn't end at closing. So after closing, one of the things that I do is schedule you into your forever follow-up plan. So I'm going to reach out 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, and then you're going to move to 66. And we're going to discuss, how, first of all, do you know how to make your payment, right? The 30-day call, hi, everything good? Do you have any questions? And then we're going to talk about, they do have questions. A lot of times there's something that went wrong, something broke, and they forgot how the insurance or the warranty works, and they're very confused about homeowners insurance versus, the home warranty. So it's another opportunity to connect them right back to their real estate agent. So every chance when you're talking to somebody, you ask them about their whole real estate needs, and anytime you get a chance, you bring the agent back up, hey, calling, you always bring the name up as many times as you can, and then a lot of times they have questions that really we can connect them back to the real estate agent with. And with your database management, you should always know where that lead came from, so that in the future, when their friends, family, sister, brother, uncle calls, you know how to get it right back to that real estate agent, which is really important. And I think some people miss the ball there. So the long-term relationship really begins when the deal closes, and all of our follow-up that happens after that involves the real estate agent. And we again emphasize the team concept. We took 2 of us to get here, and it's going to take 2 of us for you forever.
Thank you, Stephanie. Let's go ahead and go to Carla. What is something a lender can do to help a realtor cultivate long-term relationships with clients?
Everything she just said. Well, you should touch these clients once a quarter in some type of way. Whether it's just calling to follow up and see how they're doing with their mortgage. This is a referral-based business, and so I know that the most successful agents touch their clients several times throughout the year, and they build their whole business right by referral business. And so, instead of looking at this as a job, we just want to look at this as our clients are our extended family, right? And if we touch these people once a quarter, whether it's just a call and say happy birthday, happy anniversary, just calling to check in on you, just calling to see what you're doing, just calling to check on the kids and the family, the house, or just calling to tell you about this new program that we have. When you touch these people, they know that you care. And in addition to that, we also ask for business. And so I like to ask my clients, listen, I'm in business for profit, right? And you now are my friend, because my clients are adopted into the family. So you're stuck with me, right? Is the thing, you're stuck with me now. Congratulations. And I need help, right? So and when people love you, they want to help you. When you help people, they want to help you. When you're blessing people, they want to bless you too. And so sometimes we forget to ask, and if you just simply tell, listen, I'm looking for a new client, so if you know anybody, and you would be amazed that everybody knows somebody. And when people start loving you, they'll look for ways to help you. They'll start saying, oh, my agent, Michelle, she's great, or anyway, he's great. Agent Kai, she's awesome. You should get her call. She's got an awesome lender too. That's really awesome. So I would say just keeping in contact with your clients as in your family, and not to necessarily say that you want something, but just touching people, letting them know you're there, telling them what you're doing, what are you doing in your business. People want to know. They want to update from you. Where are you? Are you at a different company? What's going on in your life? Did you have a baby? Did you get married? Did you get divorced? Are you mad? Are you sad? Happy? People, you guys know. You guys are drawn into your client's life, right? When there's death, when there's tragedy. So just loving on people, letting them know you care, and asking for business.
See the same question? What is something a lender can do to help a realtor cultivate long-term relationships with clients?
So what these ladies said is spot on, the follow-up is really important. But I also really believe that cultivating a relationship starts at day one with your entire team. So not just your lender partners, but your escrow partners, your inspectors. How do you guys show up together as a team, and how do you represent yourself as a team to that client is really going to tell that client or set the stage for the experience that client's going to have. So if you're resourceful and calm and you're reassuring your client, when something goes awry in a transaction, because oftentimes things do, things come up that we don't expect. Be calm, be resourceful, let them know things are going to be fine. The last thing we want to do is excite a customer when they're going through this process. So I think that's super important on how we show up throughout the process, even when we're shopping for pre-approval. This is just super important. Make sure that they know, like my team, my escrow partners are an extension of me. If it comes down to the last minute and there's a delay with the lender, I know I can come with the escrow team to back me up. So these guys are amazing, and I can tell the client, don't worry, the escrow team's gonna work late. They're gonna get your box prepared. We're gonna make it all happen, and then they do. So I think that's where cultivating that long-term relationship starts, is in the transaction and how we show up. The other thing is just, clients are, shopping around online lenders. That can be kind of I just wouldn't allow, as a realtor, I would make sure that your clients know the value in working with someone local, working with partners that you're used to working with, so you know what to expect. So these things are all really important. I mean, yes, people can shop. You don't have to have one, lender that you use, but matching them up with somebody that they're going to work well with, and just make sure that they know, like, I matched you up because this is a lender that I trust. This is going to make a really good process and experience for you. And then when we all do that, they trust us, they love us, and then they start referring us. That's what it's about.
Thank you very much, Christina. Jason, go ahead and go to you next. What is something a lender can do to help a realtor cultivate long-term relationships with clients?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everything that they've been saying is spot on, but I think also if we look at the way of the world and where things are going, there's a couple of methods. There's the tried and true method of staying in front of your clients. And Stephanie talked about this, having a routine. Again, knowing what that routine is super important. And I think there's a slide. They require a couple of clicks. One of the things that I try to do on my business, a 30-day call. I have someone on my team who does this. So the first call at 30 days is I get on with them. And especially in this environment right now, we talk about what's called strike rate. So if we get someone in and we have to get them from interested to motivated in a rate environment in the high sixes, sometimes that's hard. So we have to then discuss about the refinance in the future. So one of the things that I think is really powerful is to meet with them after they're settled, they got their keys, they're in their house, and say, all right, here's what your loan looks like. Instead of 6.75, here's what it looks like at 6 1/4, and 6, 5.75, and 5.5. What number do you want? And setting a follow-up, an automatic follow-up for that client when rates get to X, because that's what they said they wanted, right? So between that, following up every 3 months, 6 months, we do an annual financial review. All of this is selling you at the same time, right? You don't get anything from a refinance, but if I'm constantly calling and I find out they don't want to refinance because they're going to sell soon, that's important data for you to have, right, as an agent. So I think that's certainly part of it. And then I think the other part is technology. You know, we all are at this point where to a certain degree, we're kind of scared of the technology piece. A couple more clicks. These are some mortgage-based tech pieces that I utilize, and it's not just a Jason Neo thing. These are available to any lender in the room that I think are super powerful to stay in touch with your clients and keep you co-branded. So not only are we going to reach out and call and find out that way, but I also we have the creepy technology of you said something around your Alexa, okay, and now I'm getting notified that you might have been searching for a realtor, okay? That's really important information for me to know so I can let you know. So I think it's a balance of the old school method of just staying in front of people as much as possible while also taking advantage of what tech is out there, especially when it honors the realtor partnership and they're not trying to sell your information elsewhere. I think that's key.
All right, thank you, Jason. Dream team. What is something a lender can do to help a realtor cultivate long-term relationships with clients?
So to add to everything they said, something that we find that works that's been really fun is co-hosting events with realtors. So if a realtor is co-hosting, we can co-host an appreciation party, we can co-host an Easter basket hunt, anything like that. Client parties, co-hosting is huge. The other thing we like to do is I really like to be their friends for life. And I take that to the next level. Like, I want to be your Facebook friend. And if you want to be my Facebook friend, it's going to work. It works like a charm. I love Facebook. Not everybody loves it. And I love being Facebook friends with my clients. And they see my life. I see their life. It helps us interact and keep in touch with people, like on a personal level. So they'll reach out to me and say, oh my gosh, congratulations. I'm so glad that Olivia's driving. You must be so nervous. And by the way, I'm sending you this client. And by the way, this. And they love Messenger. And they know how to get a hold of us. It makes it a lot easier. So she uses Insta and she has a bunch of clients that are friends on Insta. But between the two of us, those two channels, we love them. They're amazing. The only other thing I would add is I do love sending cards. I know it's old school, but I love handwritten cards. I love Hallmark cards. I love getting them and I love sending them. So that is something that we do. And I know that all of us like to send gifts. And so it gets the closing gift, but then any gifts later on, like ideas, those kind of things, that makes a huge impact on people when we are a part of their life later.
Thank you. Associated, anything to add?
I think the only thing I wanted to add is, as far as like the gift thing goes, is it's kind of cool if you think about like, who was one of your favorite clients? How, you know, it was really smooth, they were a raving fan, and then you kind of think, okay, like where did they work at? Let's say it's City of Buffalo. So we have that like get into the break room mentality. So maybe you just randomly send them a gift card or, you know, a fruit basket or something, just thinking of you, or maybe your friends on social media and you saw that they just, you know, got a promotion and you send them something for their actual office, then everyone's like, oh my gosh, like who got you that? And you're like, my lender, like, and then, you know, and then you're in their break room because you want to do loans for their coworkers. So that's just another little idea. And you don't have to do it as a lender, you can do that.
You guys have done this, yeah? I hope you guys are taking notes. This is some good ideas on how to stay top of mind, right? Christina, number 3. What is something a lender can do to help a realtor with open houses?
There's lots of ideas for open houses, so I'm sure we're all gonna share hopefully something different. I think, there was two things that I was gonna touch on. I actually brought some samples. I think this is just kind of a really easy thing. Everybody co-brands open house flyers. All your lenders can do this. The idea is that you put something on these flyers to get a call later. So like on this home, it's a $515 purchase price. I put first time buyer down payment assistance available. Well, that's pretty much all the homes, you know, under, you know, 700,000 in Vacaville. But when you put something like that, it intrigues somebody to make a phone call. Also on that same one, I double sided the flyer just to make sure that I put something about a product that is going to cause some questions. So this is renovation financing. That home was really dated. It was a great home, but it was dated. So letting people know that they can do things like renovation financing on that property. This is gonna trigger some phone calls later on when this flyer's floating around in somebody's car. You know, hey, let's find out about that as they're touring different homes. The other thing on open houses, I really like doing the farming activities. We have amazing tools from our escrow partners, how to farm the neighborhood before an open house, how to do the Thursday night exclusives. Those are some, you know, those I really recommend. Doing it for the neighbors only. Get to know that neighborhood, get to know, you know, have them talk to you about all the things they love or don't love about that neighborhood before the open house. Because you want that information before the open house is occurring, not during the time when you have prospective buyers in the property. So I think that's super important. It also shows that you are engaged in getting to know the neighborhood they live in and helping them sell their home for the best value, because you know enough about that neighborhood to make it happen, so.
Thank you, Christina. Everybody's seen the meme with the nosy neighbor, right? Yeah. Also, you could exclude. It's important. Is another neighbor.
If they're not with their business card in your hand, I know what you're doing.
Second word. That's a question. What's something that they can do to help with real estate?
So I definitely think you should have a finance flyer after open house. Because like Christina said, people take them and they tend to hang on to them more so than just a flyer with pictures of the house. People stop at open house for all kinds of reasons. Maybe they're just on their way home from the grocery store. You never know, but they will hold on to a flyer that has numbers for a payment or a price range that they might be interested in. They may not be interested right now, something's holding them back, but they hang on to it because they want to reference it. So I get calls probably 6 or 7 times a year, and they're like, hey, I've been holding on to this. And it's really easy for me to refer that right back to the agent because I want to know who's on the flyer next to me. And then we're able to put their numbers together. So they do hang on to that. If you aren't using finance flyers with math, definitely make that change today. And you have the opportunity to showcase things. So like Christina said, hers have the first time buyer down payment assistance. We've been putting a buy down on everything. So the rates are scary for people. So if we can do, yes, okay, there's this rate. Oh, but then there's this one too. So if, you know, especially if you've got a seller that's willing to make concessions, we can put that on the flyer. So, you know, there's a lot of fancy things you can do with the finance flyers and they absolutely hang on to them. I also have a pretty robust website. And so, I have my agents that they're trained to go to my website and they're able to get first time buyer guides downloaded. So if they're talking to a client and it's a sneaky way to get information, right? Like, hey, you want information here, you can download this. That means I now have their information so I can get it back to you. I also have my mortgage diet tool on there. So a lot of times you're talking to people and they're like, yeah, this is great, but I can't afford this. Well, we can work on that, right? You never know till you just try. So they can download the mortgage diet, they can apply online, they can schedule a call, they can do a lot of things. So I have my agents, I can only be in one place physically at a time, but my agents know that I'm basically standing there on the internet and they can have people go there and be really interactive and just try to capture that information right away.
Thank you very much. Great. Let's start with Perla. Perla, what is a lender can do to help a realtor with social media marketing?
Can I just piggyback on what the other, and I'll answer that question too. You allow they not so well.
I heard a little people.
I just want to piggyback on just open house is that one of the ways that your lender can help you is to make it about you and not them. And I know this has been an issue for top agents that have those issues with me about other people, but you only have one time to make a good first impression. And so when people walk into your open house, your lender needs to promote you. And that's the key component. We're there to really support you. We're not there to necessarily just support ourselves and our business, but we need to introduce ourselves as like kind of working for you, like your partner and how great you are, because this is your client that are walking through the door. And if they happen to need financing, then we're there to back you up. So everything they said was awesome. And in addition to that, we are there to really just bring you to life. Thank you. And can I get to answer the other question?
What is something a lender can do to help a realtor with social media marketing?
Okay, so I noticed that some realtors are really socially active and then some are not. And so how we can partner with you is if you are a lender that is, we're a lender. If you are a realtor that is active on social media, we can partner with you with your social media posts. And so I know that I do this also as well as I'll co-brand posts for my agents. I'll design it for them and all they have to do is post it. And so we could just become partners with you with whatever it is that you're doing. And if you're not doing anything, then maybe we can help you and we can say, okay, well, let's highlight this. Let's highlight this new program that came out, or let's highlight the 3-2-1 buyout, or let's highlight you and how long you've been in the industry. So we can add to whatever you're doing and take some of that marketing that you don't have time to do, or maybe you don't have an assistant to do it. We can do it for you.
Thank you. Jason, since you have the microphone, what is something a lender can do to help a realtor with social media marketing?
I think our slides are out of order, but that being said, I'll let her let out, Alice, if their slides are.
Ladies first. All right. Only on.
Okay, so I'm gonna look at my little notes, but one of the things that we can help you guys do, and your lender partner can help you do, is share obviously your listings, any of your posts on our social media accounts. Wooly and I are really big on social media marketing, and so for us, we have like a weekly show, if you want to call it, a quick little video that we post every Wednesday. And so we've asked some of our realtor partners to come on there, so we like kind of highlight those agents. And then we also do the custom slides like Carla was saying. That's our little show, watch us on Wednesdays. We also hosted, and we're doing that quarterly, is a real event, social media content day, for agents to come, and we'll help you with your social media. So we set up ring lights and have everybody come and have already like songs already picked out for you, things that are trending, so that you can really sit down, because I think that's one of the biggest things with social media is that we all want to do it, right? But then like you just don't find the time, you don't make yourself slow down and do it. So if you've set like, this is the day and I am filming for 1 hour at least, then that is, you know, really valuable. You can just save them all in your drafts and post them later. So that's some of the things that we help our agents with, as well as just like I said, if you need any custom slides, is like what loan programs are out. I know, like Carla was handing out, the CalHAP new down payment assistance is huge, but that's not your job as an agent to know the ins and outs of that. It's your lenders, so they can make those slides for you and co-brand it.
Thank you very much. Now, Jason,
Thank you, sorry.
what is something a lender can do to help a realtor with social media marketing?
Yeah, I think this is something that's been really important for me in the last couple of years for my business, and I think it will be important for all of you, which is video. Doubling and tripling down on video, and I know there's a lot of you who are going, I am not doing video. And look, I have a face for radio, but I am doing video. Right? And I think that it's really, really important. There's short form content, and I think there's two paths you can take. I think Lily and Alex especially are doing a really good job. Claudia, on the realtor side, you are doing a really great job of like the short form fun videos, where it's like, let me see your personality a little bit more. Using trending songs, those kinds of things, I think is a really good way to do that. I don't have a personality, so I focus more on the other side of it, which is really just trying to do the education side of it. And so I think there's a video I'm going to make you watch because I didn't get enough views on it yesterday. So this is something that I'm doing right now. For example, I own a short-term rental in Nashville, And I get a lot of questions about it, so I'm running a series, for people on what that looks like, so, let's see if it works at all. If not, I'm gonna just text you all the link. Okay, so you can't really hear it, so that's not all that valuable. But you can let it run, you can let it roll, just so people can see it, because. Okay, well, either way, there I am talking, but I think one of the other things that I think can be, that your lender partners can help with is most of us, or maybe not most of us, but a lot of us have marketing departments, and I don't know how to do all this crap. Like putting the nice B-roll in there with, you know, with backgrounds and musics and all those kinds of things. While I think TikTok and Instagram specifically have a great video editor that is pretty simple, but your lender partners have legit marketing people working for them that will be more than happy to put some stuff together. I'm really sad that I'm not gonna get the views. It's okay. Oh, yeah, all right, thank you, please. So I say that, and I'll just say that from a lender perspective, you can sit down, right? I say this to you guys all the time in these finance forums. You guys have the contacts, we have the content, right? On the lending side. So let us give you the content, right? Let us sit down with you, do an interview format. You can ask about Dream for All or whatever is top of mind, and we can answer those. Those are really easy ways, especially if you're new at video and you're just feeling awkward about it. All you gotta do is ask a couple of questions and nod your head, and then we'll do all the talking, and then you come out smelling like roses. So I think that's just a really powerful way to partner with your lenders. Almost everybody is getting really big on video, so don't let that stop you. I have a couple of agents who insist that we take like 15 takes on every video. If they say one time, it's like, we're running it back. And that's okay. Like, I got to the point where I don't care anymore. I say all the time. I use the wrong word. I don't care. It is what it is. But at first, you're going to want your hair to be perfect. You want the ring lights on. You're going to want all those things. And that's cool. I think over time, you're just going to get up and do it. And I think your lenders can help you with all of those things. And just really quickly, I just want to add, on the open house thing, they got me thinking. I think it's really important that you as an agent set the ground rules of how you want that open house to go with your lender. Because so many of you are the ones that are like, I need you out front and you run the show, you introduce me. And others are like, you sit there and wait until I introduce you, or we have multiple buyers in the house at the same time. I don't care, I'll do either. But if I don't know, like, right, so I think it's just important to have that conversation with your lender at the beginning of the open house, so we know what he wants to do.
Thank you, Jason. Does anybody have any questions? We still have a little bit of time. You know, we did a pretty good job making a short answer. So does anybody have any questions or?
Eric didn't think we were gonna.
I did.
You guys have no chance to make one out.
I have a question. So with open houses, what's an appropriate time? Because sometimes I won't find out that I'm doing an open house until Thursday of that weekend. So what I'm struggling with is having people available for the open houses. So what's protocol? I know sooner is better, but sometimes that just does not work in our favor.
Well, I'll pass the mic on to you guys to answer the big part of this question, but I will always also remind you guys, SolanoCountyOriginators.com is our association open house list. It has an entire list of lenders who are open to doing open houses. So SolanoCountyOriginators.com. If you are an originator and you don't know what I'm talking about, just send me a text and I'll add you to it. And it just gives agents an opportunity in case your go-to is not available. So that being said, if anybody want to answer the question as well.
Just as soon as possible. If you find out on Thursday, go on Thursday. Some of my agents will reserve me in advance too. So they'll say like, oh, hey, next weekend, I don't know what house, but we're doing open house. So, you know, that's totally appropriate. When you know, reach out. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
And reserve in advance. That also works.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. A lot of your lender partners get alerts when new listings come up, so we know when our partners are going to have a new listing and have a house that so a lot of times we'll ask them, when are you gonna host an open house so we can reserve it? But again, I don't think you have to have just your lender partners in open houses. This is an opportunity for you to get to know other local lenders and also just, help them, again, make you shine, because I think everybody said that, and that's what it's all about. We can help you get the leads out of those open houses, but really it's for the real estate agent to get the best out of that open house. So I think it's fine to go down a list, like Jason created, and find someone that's available. It gives different people, get to know different people when you're in those open houses and different ideas.
So we got more questions.
Yeah, and I'll just add, that my only ask would be, and I'm gonna fall on the sword for all you other lenders. Like, we work Monday through Friday, 10 to 12 hours a day, and then also the open house weekend, so don't hold it against us if it's like, football's on Sundays, so you have a Saturday open house that I can possibly do, so I'm just try to be gracious with that whenever possible. Melanie?
I just want to add to that, what's nice about going down a list and working with other lenders and stuff is it's also really nice for everyone to know each other, so that when your lender's calling you, and you're the listing agent saying, hey, I'm the buyer lender for this. It was nice meeting you at that open house the other day. Thanks for calling me and having me host with you, even though we don't normally work together, but now you know me. And now, my borrower is totally ready to go on this, so pick me because now you know me.
Yeah, but that's huge, right? Like, you guys know that. I mean, there's a lot of agents who are not doing well in this market who never come to this meeting.
Yeah.
Right? And even if you're not doing well, whether it be a lender, realtor, whatever, like, getting to know each other is huge. Like, I can't tell you how many times an offer has been accepted because I know one of you guys. And when you see my pre-approval that it means something. And I know it's the same thing for so many of these local lenders, so super important. Shell, do you have a question?
Yes, I do have a question. Being in business for over 20 years, the clients come back. They always come back to us realtors. Right? They'll always come back. My clients come back to me, and I always give them back. I always give them back to the lender that they originated with, even if it was over 20 years ago, because I keep a database. It's really tight. I don't use a company database. It's my personal database that I am constantly in touch with. And I noticed that there's other lenders that use their company databases, and then they ship, and they move around. I mean, how do you co-partner with people like that don't know you referred them like 16 years ago, and I find out that, you gave them to somebody else when I first gave them to you, and I don't know. And so I would want to know as a realtor, I want to know from the get-go, were you putting that name out from open house? How often are you following up? What is your plan? Like, I have an 8x8 plan, I have a 32 touch plan, I got for everything, because I'm around for life. Even if I'm not alive, it's gonna still be. That remind us, 6 months since you closed. And so thank you for sharing all your wealth and sharing your systems and your tools and processes. I just really want to make sure that, you got a plan when you're working with Michelle, because I need to know the layout, because I need to know where this is for a lifetime. Can I keep my partners forever? You will always get business back from me, no matter where we started. But it really is, I love the co-partnering, because sometimes we'll do business one time and goodbye. It's like no more. The co-events, the co-hosting events, that's really important. But the question really was, especially for those co-leads, because that's how I keep them for a lifetime. Do you?
So that was good, Michelle. That was really good. So CRM, I can speak definitely from coming from retail, having my own company, and I know exactly what you're talking about. And so when you're in retail, most of us are utilizing our company's CRM tool. And I can't speak for everyone, but I'm just saying, when I worked for Wells Fargo Mortgage, I was using the Wells Fargo Mortgage CRM. And so now that I have my own company, I have my own CRM platform. And so you have more control when you own something, right? And what happens when you leave retail and you transfer over, as you guys know, and working for real estate companies, sometimes your company owns your CRM. And so if you're not prepared to adequately transfer those leads, sometimes they could just be wiped out and taken from you. And so a good lender is gonna have preparation for that, right? They're gonna have their CRM backed up. And in CRM platforms now, if I can speak for myself, each agent has their own platform inside my CRM. So every person that you refer goes under your particular CRM, so that way, whenever they do business, you can go in, and I'm sure this, I'm speaking for all of us, is that we have our contacts specifically under you in our CRM. And so we just have to, if we're not independently owning our CRM, then we have to have those CRM leads backed up, because it is important. And agents do take it personally. You own your client, and you know, sometimes they might call us first and say, oh, I want to refinance because I'm buying another house and I'm trying to buy an investment house. And, oh, who are you working with? And then we can go in and say, oh, this was Michelle's client. Let me let Michelle know that your client has given me a call. So it is a little bit more due diligence on the lender's part to own their CRM platform and to prepare their CRM if they're leaving. You guys want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll just say that I think I can speak for every lender on this panel, and probably in this room. At some point or another, we have been burned by not owning our data. And there's a reason that Facebook is free, Instagram is free, and Twitter is free, because data is worth more than you can even begin to think about. And so I think pretty much everybody is getting to the point now where owning that data is super important, Michelle. And I think the CRMs have improved over time. I can speak for myself. Like, I started with an Excel spreadsheet that had just some basic stuff on it. Now it's like, okay, I can go back and see trees of Michelle gave me a lead 10 years ago, and then that turned in, that person gave me a referral for someone else, so I better make sure I get that back to Michelle because that came from that client, kind of thing. So I think that's a part of it. To answer your other question, we have so many clients right now who are interested but not committed. And being able to, and look, I mean, candidly, maybe I'm the only one, but I'm like, I got time on my hands right now. So I would be happy to have an in-depth presentation for someone who's interested but not committed. That's not something I could have done 12 months ago, but now it's become part of my business. So that, I think, goes back to the conversion part of our question, because I think it's just super important.
I agree. Yeah, so we, in answer to your question as far as the CRM goes, we always maintain the personal one. So we had recently moved, and so yes, we have that available via whatever bank that you're working for. And so we kind of always had two, which is kind of weird, right? But it helped us make a nice clean break, and we already had all of that data. And so it kind of, like you were saying, if there was, you know, so-and-so realtor gave us this lead, we closed and helped him buy a house, and then he referred his friend for a refinance. This is something that just recently happened. We closed the refi form, did another refi form. Now he wants to sell and buy, and he doesn't have an agent. And we're like, perfect, because Kelly helped Mark, who's your coworker, and Kelly's gonna help you. And then Kelly closed that transaction. Kelly's friends with them on Facebook like us. They just had a baby. We're sending a gift basket together for the baby. So just kind of keeping that all together, I think it really is important to kind of have your own database if you can, because it is true, you'll get burned, and it is their data. So even if, you know, the company wants to give you, you're allowed to have a copy of it, they have it too. So they're dripping your clients too. So it is kind of nice to just maintain your own.
Well, I would say, to add to that, not only if they're willing to give it to you, they're like name, phone number, email address, that's it. They don't tell you that Michelle was the one that you work with. They don't tell you anything about that loan. Now, that's a legal thing for most of the lenders, right? So I understand it, but we have learned our lesson now that data is key. Steph, Christine, you guys want to add anything?
Yes, luckily, I worked for Caliber Home Loans for a long time. They didn't have a CRM, so, you know, that was good. So the information was already there, so we made it really easy to make moves. But yeah, you've got to own your own data, because you can't trust others to keep it, give it back, any of that stuff.
Yeah, I think everybody answered, but The other thing too, I mean, this is not the best format to use, but also your phone, every time I get a lead, if they're not in my database, I put what agent referred that lead to me. So that way, every time I talk to that lead, I can say, oh, how's it going with Stephanie? Are you still out looking at homes with Stephanie? So that name is continuing to do that. So just even when you're saving it in your contacts, I mean, it's just a simple way to know who connected you with that lead.
That's good.
Great idea.
Right.
So I have trouble, and I just need maybe help reframing the way that I look at this. When I meet somebody a cold lead, like super cold, Zillow, whatever, right? And they're like, oh yeah, we haven't touched base with the lender. I'm barely getting to know them. I feel bad sending it to a lender, and it's so cold to where I can't even, maybe decipher just yet. I don't want to waste your time either. So I typically like to have those few conversations and then pass them, but I think it would be more efficient if I would talk to you guys and then you do the whole drip thing. So I guess what's your guys' stand on that?
I don't think you have to have, if whatever you can do with that client to get them to open up, if you can immediately, but if you can't, you feel like they're ready to make that next move and talk to a lender, then allow your lender partners to get them to open up, because we're asking them crucial information. A lot of times we're not taking an app before we're already talking to them about, well, what do you do for a living? Where do you work? And then we're, talking about that, trying to get them to open up. We're pretty, I think most of us lenders are trained and we're experienced in trying to get people to open up, because they have to give us all this really vulnerable information throughout the process. So we're starting that right in the beginning to get that comfort zone with us and to make sure that they know we care about you. We're protecting your info. You're not going to work with just an online lender. You're working with someone local. You can come see me in person. You can look us up on Facebook. I think there's value in that. I don't think you're ever wasting anybody's time. The fastest you can touch on that client and get them over to another lender, a lender to touch on them too, I think is super important. It's never a waste of time.
Yeah, it's never too early to plan. So, that's why we have mortgage diets and things like that, because for a lot of people, they're not ready to buy right now, but we're just waiting for everything to line up. So what is the piece of the puzzle that we're missing to get the home? And then work on.
I guess my thing is I take that responsibility for me. I need to get them to where I feel I can pass them on to you more seamlessly, as opposed to allowing it to be a group effort, I guess.
So I put the fire under clients. So if people are avoiding me, I'll just come out and say, listen, do you want this for yourself? Do you want this? Because I'm here and I'm ready. So, and I think that we want to work with people who want to work with us. And so there are sometimes that you have clients that you feel like you have to chase, and that'll be a small percentage of your business. So you really want to determine, is this a real client?
Yeah.
Right? Is this a real person, or I don't need to spend my struggling marketing hours running after people because you have to chase that person your whole transaction. So I have had realtors refer me clients, and I'll try to touch those clients 3 times. And if I can't touch that client after the 3rd time, I'm going to send them a really strong message like, I'm here for you. Do you want to do this? Is your time to buy a house? Do you want to do it? Let's do it now. And 100% of the time, I'll get a response out of them. Even if they've been avoiding me, they'll say, oh, you know what, Carla, I've just been so busy, and they're making excuses. So they say, call me tomorrow. And I just at least want to get on the phone with you, just uncover where you're at. So to answer your question, I think you can still send that referral over to your lender. We'll still try to do something with that lender, and that client, and we will determine if that client is an actual lead. Like sometimes you're just wasting your time.
I was just gonna say too, just going back to like what Carla said, if you're doing a group text, I think this is really good because it's an accountability for everybody, for your buyer, for your lender, how fast is everyone responding? The group text is really a good way to communicate, same with group emails, making sure we're all on it, so we're all accountable for how we're treating, we're gonna be in that relationship. So I think that's a good idea, and knowing your lender and knowing what the buyer can expect when you transfer that lead. They're gonna call you right away, I'm gonna put you in a group text, and they're gonna help you get started. So
Your lender is an extension of you. So you just want them to be on board as early as you want.
You're not playing games with people for their whole life. Come on, are you ready or are you not?
I kind of work in a different way than Carla, like in the sense that like she's firm on call 4. I'm a little softer about it, but I believe in give me alone or leave me alone. So I'm gonna keep calling until I hear one of those two things from you. And I think that, it's important that, going back to that slide about conversion, it's important that you know what your lender's routine is, right? And whatever that may be, whether it be, hey, it's put up or shut up at call forth, that's cool. Or, it's much longer out, because I think Zillow leads especially, they will ghost you for like 6 months, and then all of a sudden they'll pick the phone up on month 7. And that to me was a worthwhile phone call. And I think the other part, just to kind of touch on going back to the CRM piece, so many of our CRMs, we have the campaign set up, and boom, like we're not even doing it, and you're not even wasting our time. It took us 30 seconds to put a name and an email address in, and it's automatically going to start dripping stuff. And it's gonna take me 30 seconds to get to their voicemail, and hell, half the time they put me on block, so it goes straight to voicemail, so I'm not really wasting any time. So for me, I'm just, give us the number as soon as you can.
Don't slide out.
Yeah.
I just wanted to take back on what they said. I think it's like all about communication, because we can work in partnership with you. So like with Claudia, we're in partnership with you. So if you call and you say, hey, this is a Zillow lead, this is what I got, you're pretty much just, now I'm taking the baton. You just handed the baton to us. We're gonna try and call, and then between us, either we get a lead, we get a loan, or they really liked interacting with us and they call us back 3 months from there or 6 months. So we're trying to make a good impression. We're trying, I'm also not as assertive as Carla. And so I'm a little more like, I want you to come to me, and I'm definitely gonna, be, my sense of urgency is very high. But it's like partnership, so we can screen them for you guys and help you figure out, is this worth your time and our time? And some, you know what, sometimes those Zillows, honestly, it's probably like 10, but hey, 1 in 10 is really good right now. 1 in 10. It's not right now, not but it's not currently, but like a couple of years ago, that was like our conversion for Zillow. So it's worth it to attempt it. And it's nice to at least pass it off and say, hey, this is what I got. I don't know if it's good or not. See what you can do. And then it's like tag team.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter, and the other part is like in our drip campaigns, we want to give them something of value, right? So I know a lot of us in here use MBS Highway. It's a huge tool for us, and there's so many little co-branded like appreciation estimates and net worth calculators and little things that you can drop in someone's email box, and our CRMs can all tell if they've opened it. And so there's that too. And so you can see that they're opening. You may not be picking up the phone, but I see you're opening the email. And sometimes those things of value that we drop will inspire them to go, okay, maybe I should pick up the phone next time, or email us back and say, hey, sorry, I haven't answered. I got your voicemails, but I'm interested in picking it up. So just throw them at us. Michelle.
Just summing it up, I just had a couple of tips for you lenders that was so helpful in hearing what you do at your end. But in order to help and co-partner with our realtors, I just wanted to share a couple of helpful tips that might be helpful for us to partner up. Like one you mentioned, scripts for new agents. I think that's a really good tool to give out to all those new agents. They don't know how to segue and to help convert that, or what you could do for them. And then rules of engagement. I think that's a great thing to have before you get to the open house, because everybody can know how they can act. And so at that time, you can have a follow-up system that you guys could partner up with, and you're fully engaged on that follow-up system, on knowing what you're doing, what I'm doing. And what's really important is those home buyer consultations that a lot of buyers, they don't know what an interest rate is. They don't know what equity means. And I think it's good, like co-partner with your agents, to do those home buyer consultations. I do it myself, but you know what? It's always great to have a lender in on that consultation. And you know what? The real house. So if they're in contact, just be so nice to say, it's another reason that I feel like we're really partnering. Dude, going somewhere. We're going somewhere. So that just increases the referrals, okay, for both of us, because you're in touch with us as well. So I know it's a two-way exchange, and I think that's what partnering is all about. That's all I had to say. Thank you so much for all the great great tools that you guys use, and you guys are all fantastic, everybody in this room. All these lenders are fantastic, so thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's a good way to, kind of end it, but before I do, I just wanna say thank you to all of you in here and just offer, and there's a lot of incredible lenders sitting in this room that aren't necessarily on this panel. If there's anything you guys wanna add to anything that we've said, please take the opportunity. We'd love to do it.
I have something to say, real quick.
Fire away, girl.
Yeah. We love to partner with you as agents, Claudia, we specifically on the clients that you like are hesitant to send to us. Like lenders really have a lot of answers that they need to hear. And until a lender speaks with a client, we really don't know like if they're a legit buyer or not. So the best thing any new agent can do is connect them with your favorite lender that can explain everything correctly so that they get the answers that they need upfront. And they're not wasting your time. Thank you.
I'm just saying to add to, not, you know, I have a client that's like, she just graduated Sonoma State, she got her first job making $17 an hour, and she's 23 years old and had so much ambition, she called and was like, I'm ready to buy a home. Obviously, that's not the one that's gonna be qualified right away to buy a home, but I took the time to pull a soft pull credit report and get her prepared of what she's gonna need, what it's gonna take, because we need to do that for people. You know, her dad is willing to co-sign, you know, there's things that happen, so I wouldn't pass up any lead right now, especially, you know, just take the time with them, get to know them and discover what other opportunities they have, because, you know, if they want to buy a home, there's a will, there's a way.
And the time you're spending with those people,
Yeah.
they're gonna let their
Yeah.
friends know,
Yeah.
it's the relationships that you're building, the trust that you're building, and it just goes so.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, I think for all of us lenders in the room, I think all of us have lost a deal to a builder, right? Where the builder is giving huge incentives and you've got to use their in-house lender. There's still opportunity there, right? Number one, the builder lenders tend to be a little bit more conservative in the way that they underwrite. So keeping in touch with them is really important, but also if you serve that client and you bless and release them and say, look, I would take the 15 grand too. And they're going to refer someone back to you, right? Like, yeah, correct, 100%. 100%. That being said, he stepped out of the room, but Ophelia is our winner of our. Again, I want to thank you guys. Thank you for running this. Thank you guys for showing up. Thanks for coming out on a rainy day. It looks like we waited it out. It seems like it's pretty good. So we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.